Hey everyone, Dan here. Welcome to the next episode of Growing $100 Account. I hope you're enjoying the series. A couple of things to keep in mind. One, these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your own decisions based on that. And this is a series, and I hope that you're enjoying it that way. That said, if you want to watch things out of order or hop around, I understand. You should definitely do whatever you think is best. Also, these are probably often good candidates for speeding up to 2x on YouTube or 1.5x or what have you, but we do just watch the market in real time for a lot of the video. So if you want to kind of get through that or just slow it back down when you see something about to happen, that might make a lot of sense for these videos. All right, be sure to like and subscribe and enjoy. All right, everyone, it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday, August 9th. We're going to come in and see if we can make some trades for the day. As you know, if you saw the last video, I was holding EPZM and KOS, who had earnings come out this morning, and I thought they had a good chance to bump up in price because of that, but that did not happen. In fact, EPZM is getting crushed quite heavily at the moment, and that was after it was up here in the pre-market. So I had checked my phone in the pre-market and saw that it was doing phenomenal. And I briefly thought to myself, I wonder if I should just sell now and lock in. I can't remember at that time. I think it was like 10 or 12% up or something. And I was like, no, let's see what the day brings. And I think they have the actual announcement coming and stuff like that. And at the announcement, it got absolutely slaughtered. So I think it's a little bit of a, look, if it had gone up 30% because it was already up 12% in the pre-market and they did have great news and great earnings, I would look like a genius. In this case, I don't. And I think that to me here, there's a bit of a lesson in kind of greed, I would call it, where I could have locked in really, really solid gains this morning and just said, if this is all that I make from this trade, I'm very happy with that. And that's true. You should be very happy with any trade that brings you, just by holding it overnight, 10 or 12%. That's fantastic, because, that's not over the course of a year. That's one trade that you're doing multiple trades a week. So that's how it can really compound quickly. So I should have been smarter with that and locked in that profit. But instead, I said, well, let's see what happens. And that's what happened. And then simultaneously, KOS is getting beat up as well, because they quarterly results. Okay, so their earnings per share increased year over year to 3, which missed the estimate of 5. Yeah, so they also didn't hit their estimate, and so they got beat up quite a bit as well. They didn't have that like run up in the pre-market hours like EPZM did. But I think that's the lesson. That's the takeaway from me, is that I should have locked in that EPZM by selling those shares in the pre-market, and I didn't, even though I had the opportunity to. Basically, I just went back to sleep and said, okay, let's see what's going to happen, and that's what happened. My AMC position is doing okay. It's just coming back to like my break-even points. Here it's down a couple pennies, but basically I let these ride today to just kind of see if they could come back, and this could end up being a video where I don't make any trades, but I do want to figure out what I'm going to look for this afternoon, and I also want to probably set limits, like a stop loss on KOS and on EPZM, and then I might come back later and make my trade to hold overnight, but do the research now. But let's go and see if anything's standing out really, really strongly, then I might make the trade now anyway. But how's any doing? This is my winners from last week. Okay. Is there anything actually happening, or okay. I think any had big short interest, if I'm recalling correctly. My brain's a little slow today. Oh yeah, utilization rate at 100. Yeah, 22%. So this was like short squeeze candidate. And at the moment, I don't know. I wouldn't take this trade at the moment based on the MACD. The RSI just dipped below the 200. So the shorts might be coming in very heavily to try to push this one down. AMC, I'm hoping this can get a lift now that the MAs are stacked more in our favor than they were before, and it just had a bullish crossover, 20 crossing over the 200. So that could be good. A couple of stocks I wanted to look at. There's some biotech potential plays that I was looking at for this week. Though if these are super low volume, I'm probably not going to be interested. Yeah, that's a super low volume stock. I'm not going to, they have some, I'm not going to get too deep into exactly what the catalyst is if I'm not interested because of the volume. Yeah, same here, garbage volume. And I know some folks do really well trading lower volume tickers, but it's just not my thing. Okay, I mean, this one's not bad. I usually look for at least like 1.5 million as my bottom line. But what is the news that they have the week ahead? To announce second quarter on August 11th, okay. But I think they have, I thought there was something else, like a decision on something. Let me see if we can quickly look what this is. And I know I'm, watch this on 2x if this is super boring, but this is just what I do to try to find plays. And so part of the purpose of this series, as I had mentioned, was to just take folks through that, because part of the the journey here, part of the job that you have to do is to basically do the research and figure out what you're going to play and why. Well, this looks to me like it's just about earnings, so that's actually not the catalyst that I thought it was. So why don't we come on over? I also think, FYI, that I have options buying power now. So if I sell anything, I think that it'll go into my available options buying power. So we could claw back some of what we lost today through that. And somebody had mentioned if I can do an update with the amount. So as you see, there's 105.50 here, and 835 of that is in cash. I started the account with 100, so you can always just kind of know that's, and you're gonna have to go back to the videos because I'm not gonna jot down somewhere what my balance is from video to video. But if you want to know what it changes from video to video, then just go back and look at the video that you are curious about. Earnings plays, even though this one went against me, this has been going relatively well, so I'm going to stick to that. So I'm looking for tomorrow, which is the 10th. I'm not going to screw the dates up again, and I'm looking for something that has pre-markets earnings that has good whispers going on, but has been beaten down. So I saw this one. I haven't looked it up yet. KRNT, to see if they've been beaten down. Oh, I can't even afford a share, so I'm not going to worry about that. And I wouldn't do an options play for earnings because the IV crush is going to make that an unlikely win for me. So I'm not going to. Okay, so this one. Okay, the volume kind of sucks, but people could. Well, the average volume's not bad. People could be staying out today because of being uncertain of earnings. But has this been beaten down the last few months, say? Relatively flat. What in the world happened here? What was this? On the 22nd, is there some news? Okay. The Amazon news launches dedicated Amazon storefront. Okay. So it does have this potential for these wild swings, as we see, and it has come down since June, since beginning of June, so we're beginning to mid-August now, and it has come down a couple of dollars. Okay, this could have solid potential, and these indicators are looking pretty good on the 2-hour here. So that one has some possibility. Let's see what else there is. Though, are they? Yeah, they're in the pre-market. Okay. Of course, then the challenge is always they could have these big expectations and then they don't reach it, which is what I got hit with today. Right, I had 2 losers in the pool, in my portfolio pool, and they just couldn't get it done. Okay, so this has been beaten down quite a bit, started to recover, bumping up against the 200 now. Decent momentum on the MACD, holding. And this could be stretching up quite a bit. Okay. So this one is looking like another good possibility. Okay. You know, I'm sort of thinking now maybe I will just not expect much from EPZM and KOS and just close those out and take these trades now. What's the deal with load? Interesting. So maybe I'll spread these out a little bit, actually. Maybe I'll take in some load. What's the volume on this, though? Okay. Because this has been beaten down a bit too, right? Let's see. Oops. So I was going to come in and see if I could sort of save the day by maybe grabbing an options day trade, but I actually think I will save that for later in the week because that'll get me closer to when I get my when I get a day trade back, because I had spent one last week. So by Friday I'll have 3 back. So if I don't day trade today, that'll leave me a better sort of midweek, I think. So I can come in tomorrow and Wednesday and spin up a day trade if I see a setup that makes sense, and probably take that in the options realm in order to try to claw some of that back. Okay. Now I don't want to get super fixated on any because it was a winner last week, but let me just check it again. I mean, it's up 20% again today. So obviously that's another one where if I had held on to it, so the opposite of, you know, what I'm dealing with EPZM, if I had jumped out early, I would have looked like a fantastic trader. And with any, if I had continued to hold, I would look fantastic. So you can't win them all. And I think that those are unreasonable expectations I have too. I think I've talked about this before, but I don't ever expect to catch the very bottom of, you know, catch the falling knife at the very bottom, and I don't expect to sell out at the peak. I think that those are really, really bad headspaces to get into because you're just going to drive yourself nuts. So to me, I just try to catch most of the move most of the time. And that's why I should have known better when I saw EPZM up. I shouldn't have said, oh, there might be a lot more that I can get out of this, because now you see how that can really, really go against you. Okay, so I'm going to sell my KOS at market. Yep, that's fine. All right, so what I think I'm going to do, and this may mean that I don't have a video coming in later today, I'm going to close these out. And I'm going to, I think, because the trades are pretty quick, I think I'll spread out between those 3 for tomorrow, and we'll see if we can catch any winners. The other problem is, if this wasn't super apparent, is oftentimes the downside is much, much greater than the upside, meaning stocks often have a tendency to fall much faster than they rise. And so you can get caught up in that too, where you're, you know, it can be hard to limit your losses in situations like this where I can't effectuate a bunch of day trades because I'm limited, and I'm trying to catch solid plays, but I have to hold them overnight, which is similar to what I just said. But I'm trying to catch decent plays based on earnings. So it's sort of like a few whammies there. There's oh, I don't like the revenue on load though. Let's see what this MDWD is. This volume looks crappy. Yeah, crappy volume. But you know, obviously it's a challenging situation to be in. But of course, if you are growing an account from scratch, regardless of the dollar amount, it's always hard, right? LQDA. But if you can day trade, it definitely makes things easier. And if you can spread things out a little bit, it makes it easier too. Though I always have this sort of 2 things happening. One, it's good to spread things out so you're not just overly reliant on one ticker, because if that goes against you, then that could be really a bad situation, but also I can tend to, or previously I've tended to over diversify and just given myself too much to keep track of, and that can be equally as confusing and frustrating. God, all these sucky volumes. Just trying to see if there's any that I might have missed. So I think we're gonna go WISA, and I think I'm gonna skip load because that volume, or sorry, that revenue is just garbage, and sort of like the volume situation. I don't want to be sort of relying on a ticker with such low revenue. Okay, so who was I looking at? WISA, and was it this one or was it the DC? This was the, yeah, this is the junky volume. So it's DCTH, right? Volume, no. Oh, so do I just have WISA now? What's alt? Oh, that was the one. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so now maybe I just have WISA. Okay. Maybe I will take a chance on load then. Or maybe I could just keep some in cash. Interesting. All right, well, let's get this one going. And let's go just a little bit less. So I'm around 30 bucks. Okay. Let's see how that does. And then, yeah, I think, what's this infinity growth one? MRNS. I guess I could look at these two. These could be interesting. ARMK. I mean, if they're even in my price range. I could have one of these, barely. All right, it's not that compelling to me. GHM. I could grab a couple of shares. What's the deal with this? Oh, that volume. My goodness. MRNS. Also, yeah, such low volume. But it has been beaten down quite a bit. So I don't know what the deal is with the infinity. I don't think that I've ever seen that before. But CSPR. Oh, talk about a beat down here. What's the volume here? Maybe they'll send me a free mattress. Okay. SYY. Cannot afford. VSH. Could barely afford, but the volume kind of crappy. All right, well, this might be about it. ITMR. Just like not that great earnings stuff coming up. Tomorrow, anyway. Got WISA. STXS. This has come down a little bit recently. What's their volume? Oh boy. All right, so I think that it's just going to be that for now, and then if I come across something later today, I'll pop back in. But right now I'm just holding this 40 bucks overnight, essentially, or at least for the time being. So we'll see how it goes. But that's all I got for today. Maybe I'll see you later, or I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.